What up, though, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Syndicate Talk. We have a very special guest on today. We got Mykal, the Professor Fox. What's going on, Mike?
What's good, man? Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. Let's get right into it, man. I really appreciate you for coming on. Really just wanted to get to know you, from the boxing standpoint and also just your life outside of boxing as well.
Yeah.
But we can just really hop right into it. Like, what made you get into boxing? What got you into that direction?
Oh, so when I was about 4 years old. My brother was playing football with some guys. They dad, my dad knew their parents and everything like that. They were playing football together. One day they said, "Yo, we found a boxing gym we're gonna go to." It was Hillcrest Boxing Gym, same place Jared Hurd trained during his world title reign and things like that. So it was long before. This was long before any of us thought about going pro. So, like I said, I was 4 years old. We all tagged along. Um, Once we stepped into the gym, we pretty much stayed. My brother was a two sport athlete for some time. At 4 years old, I couldn't compete yet, so I was just in the gym. I was enjoying hitting the bags and everything. And since the age of four, I've been in the gym. I'm 27 now, so most of my life has been spent in boxing gyms.
Right, just like a lifelong thing for like most of the pros in the game for sure. I feel that. So, what was like your amateur career like? What was your accolades in that record? What was that like?
Say again?
What was your amateur career like?
Oh yeah. My amateur career wasn't nothing too special, really. To be honest, I won like one national tournament as an amateur, but I wasn't as heavily invested in the sport as I am now. I was like 40 and 60 as an amateur. I fought everybody. I just fought everybody. Some fights that I thought probably should have went my way probably didn't. But I could have been there's probably more obviously I could have did, but we're not too worried about that because like I said, it's still 100 fights. Gained a lot of experience. So it's worked out thus far in my career.
Right, right, and then I think, as I'm sure a lot of people know, like amateur judging and amateur boxing is just it's so different from the pro game. So like it might look like you win in a fight, or you might think you won a fight. Then you get back your results, and it's a totally different solution or result than you think. And so, amateur boxing is just a whole different world in itself.
Yeah, amateur
But like,
boxing is just quick. It's just quick. You know what I mean? 3 rounds, a
yeah,
lot. You got to get things going like really fast. That was one thing I never really did. I always got off to too most times I got off to too slow of a start. But I think the I think things I could have done differently. And preparing for that short amount of time. That's something like we still trained like the pros and the amateurs were all in all in the same gym. So you know you train with 3 minute rounds and got yourself kind of accustomed, which isn't like an excuse because there are other fighters that did it. But I know for me, it would have to make it to simulate it more. It would have helped. It would have helped me to train with on clocks with lesser time, especially once we found out I was kind of pretty much a slow starter. We needed to that's something I could have trained a little better on. But now that, as a pro, we're doing I my last two fights were 12 and 10 rounders, so I got time to like get into my groove and everything, so it really helps.
right, for sure, for sure. And then like you're from Forestville, Maryland, is that correct?
Yeah.
So what's the boxing scene like in the DMV? Like, is there just like some upcoming fighters you looking at? Like, what's the scene like? What was it like coming up out there?
Coming up, we all pretty much looked up to guys like Lamont and Anthony Peterson. So like when we were out off at tournaments, I remember they were fighting on ESPN. They would fight and they would shout out everybody that's at the tournament or compete in the tournament. Um, you know, we looked up to them really heavy. And just as far as fighters now, you know, up and coming guys like still in the single digits guys like Jaleel Hackett.
Yeah, yeah.
He's definitely one to watch. He's signed with Mayweather Promotions. Trayvon Marshall, he's making
Dog.
noise. Yeah, making noise on the with PBC as well. Um, both guys are undefeated. I spar with them regularly. Um, those are probably two of the bigger names. Those are two of the bigger names is like, early pros, that's starting out. We got a bunch of but there's a bunch of boxing in the area. Lamont Rose Jr., who was a WBA contender at 130 pounds. He's still doing his thing. He's waiting on his next opportunity. Myself, obviously, my brother, Lontez Fox, he'll be fighting in Canada February 2nd, on the Eye of the Tiger promotion management or promotions, whichever they are. He's fighting on one of their cards in Canada. My teammate Gregory Outlaw, he's fighting locally, but he's a junior welterweight WBA NABA gold champion. He should be in a couple more good wins and everything. He should be in the ranking soon. So I mean, we're all doing our thing. We're all doing our thing. We work together. We in the area, just to prepare for whatever's coming. So we all, it's like it's not really a gym I can't go to in the area that I can't get work from. But right now the focus is on Alontes and Gregory Outlaw. They both have fights on the calendar. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting on my next fight date. But in the meantime, I'm lending my energy to them. Anybody comes to ask for sparring, there's never a problem. I give anybody from the area. I give you work if you ask.
Hell yeah, for sure. And then coming from the Maryland area, did y'all ever come across Tank at all? Did y'all come up with Tank at all?
Absolutely. As an amateur, I fought Tank 3 times. The first two he won. The third one he also won, but I felt that I pulled off that victory. I had talked to Tank right after that fight. He had asked. He was like, man, what you think of that one? I was like, bro, I ain't a sore loser, but nah, I won that one. I feel like, what I'm saying, it ain't no. I mean, it's no drama though. Whatever. And then he was just like, he honestly told me, he was just like, man, nah, I felt like you won that joint. And I respect him for telling me that. We shook hands. I mean, that's always been my man, though. Like, as soon as we met as kids, I mean, I don't know, we just kind of hit it off. It's not that, I mean, I hadn't been up to Baltimore a bunch of different times, but, you know, um, the thing about it is if you ask his trainer, Calvin Ford, he'll always tell you that my dad helped him get kind of established in like our part of Maryland, like Prince George's County and things like Prince George's County in the DC area. Um, you know, we met in us we all had met in was that either Salisbury or Hagerstown, and my dad just kind of helped him out while he was trying to get matches for his fighters. Calvin was like, "Yeah, man, it's Baltimore, there's a bunch of fighting up there right now." He said, "Man, just come down here. We have fights almost every weekend." So and that's I mean that's not me gassing the story at all. That you ask Calvin Ford anytime if you ask him who is Troy Fox to you, he'll light up. To be honest, I mean Calvin's like family. Honestly, I went to Vegas when Tank was getting ready for Mario Barrios. I was his chief sparring partner, so it wasn't like I mean it was going off to a different training camp, but I mean it was pretty much being like amongst family. So you know, like I said, we tie we got good ties in our area. Nobody should speak bad of of my family or my team, but I mean, I'll leave it there.
Right, right. But yeah, I was about to say, like, Calvin, he doing his thing right now, so it's cool to
Absolutely,
see like y'all, you know what I mean, y'all had like y'all got y'all ties, and y'all staying like a family within y'all community, like, just the Maryland community, y'all staying together, y'all kind of putting each other in position. So that's dope to see as well. But like what I was gonna say to you, man. So I gotta ask you about the Mastray fight. Obviously, but it took whoever watched it, they know what's going on with the fight, man. What were your thoughts after the fight,
what
and
up, Tiz? I'm
then
doing an interview. My
what were
bad.
your thoughts after the fight? No, it's all good. Yeah, and then what were your thoughts when you heard the decision?
Um, so right after the fight, you mean like before they announced?
Yeah, before they announced it. Yep,
Okay, so
yep.
yeah, I mean, so right after the fight, 12th round, we shaking, dap him up, throw my hands in the air. I felt like I won. I go back to my corner. My corner's excited. It's my brother, my cut man Reggie Brown, my father is my head coach, Troy Fox, and we all now go back to the corner. I'm pretty much dead sure I won. And then my father, who typically he waits to kind of hear the decision. Like, yeah, I felt we won, but let me see what they on. This was like the one time where he was like, "Yo, you won that. You a world champion tonight. Yo, jump on the ropes. Let them know." You know what I mean? We were all like 100% sure. Like, yo, we did this. 11 days notice. We came through. We stayed ready. We got the job done. So then we get to the middle of the ring. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is he's announcing. He starts reading off the scores. The scores were close. The first score was really close, and I'm like, if you look at the video, you see I made a face like, nah, y'all playing. I mean, it was. I mean, it was still had a winner, but like, I'm like that score was too close. Each score after that got wider, and then I'm like, the wider the scores, I'm like, yo, these are sounding like fights I fought. You know what I mean? And then when they said and still undefeated, at the time I knew I was 22-2. They weren't talking about me. That's what I knew. As soon as they said still undefeated, I mean my jaw dropped. I mean that's that's all on video. So I couldn't believe I couldn't believe what I heard. I know the fight I fought. I mean the crowd was out there booing. So the crowd was out there booing. My a buddy of mine that was actually there. He said, man, more than half of the venue done cleared out. Like no one could believe what they heard. So by the time the main event was coming, it was kind of looking like the prelims and that don't just as far as the crowd goes. So I mean, like I said, couldn't believe what I heard. But I mean, the benefit of that whole situation. I mean, we're talking obviously, and then I gained a lot of followers. I gained a lot of attention in the sport, and we did our best to get the decision overturned, but they said the decision stands. It was up to the Minnesota State Commission up to the Minnesota Athletic Commission to overturn that. They didn't believe that there was nothing done wrong, so that stays on my record.
Right. And then I seen like they kind of did like a semi kind of investigation. They did suspend one of the judges and whatnot, but it's just like, damn, like obviously everybody in the boxing world, myself included, was like, hell no, it's no way he just lost this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I mean, at least they did something about it because you do got to take some of these judges accountable, especially with some of the crazy decisions you get in boxing. So some type of accountability was taken, but obviously we wish you could have got your overturn and got that off your record. But at this point, it is what it is. We got to move on.
yeah. I mean, they did the brief suspension, but it was like I said, it was brief. She was back judging world title fights. So I mean, they just waiting for the dust to die down. Just
Mm-mm.
some of the attention to be taken off them. They let her slide back into and they let her slide back into the position she had. So I mean, they didn't do much of anything really.
Man, so that's another thing boxing need to do. They need to start taking these judges accountable because they do mess up a lot of people's futures, a lot of future opportunities for these fighters, man. So that's definitely something that needs to happen. But when do you plan on getting back in the ring? 2023.
I would like it to be sooner than later. But yeah, we don't have nothing. Like I said, we don't have anything set on the calendar. I'm not like waiting for a certain fight or a certain card or anything. I'm in the gym. Like I said, I'm in the gym now, so I'm always in the gym. Just we just waiting for when they call. I talked to my manager. I'm like, yo, let's try to stay a little more active this year. I want to so I mean, we can do a smaller card in the meantime until we get called for a call from one of the networks or something like that. But like I said, I'm not really trying to be sitting out anymore. I don't want to sit out anymore.
Right. Definitely. And then are you trying to stay at 47? Or are you going to try to make a move to 54? Or how you want to play that?
Um, for the most part, as far as I'm concerned, I wanted to stay at 47 just because I only been there for like a year, for a few years, for like well, 20, so about 2 years. I can still make the weight. I feel comfortable. I actually have space to add a little, put on a little more size, um, and be a little stronger at the weight class. So I mean, I take opportunity. If the opportunity makes sense, I'll take it. Even if it is, we talk about going to 154. We can see who it is and whatnot. But I'm a welterweight. I'm a welterweight fighter.
Definitely, definitely, and that's what I was going. That's what I was probably going to ask as a follow up. Like, do you still feel comfortable making that weight? It is not a problem or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I haven't had a problem making the weight yet, so there hasn't really been a need for me to go up in weight yet, or to even really consider it yet.
Right, right. And then, so what do you love most about boxing, man? Like, obviously, you've been in the game all your life. Only 27 years old, still got a lot of the game to go. What do you love most about the sport?
I love I just love the individuality of the sport. Just where I mean, yeah, you got your teams in the corner and everything like that, but everything, anything that has to be done by you. You can't, I mean, I like watching basketball, watch football sometimes, but the thing is, you can you can win a championship ring without playing it down. You know what I mean? And in football, or you can really you can be really sit the bench and never actually play in basketball. You know what I mean? And get a ring. Like in boxing, you want to do anything, you have to be able to be the one to do it. You can't really rely on somebody else to do it. If you have a bad night, it's on you. So so I actually like that aspect of it. I get to be able to, like, on one end, I have to, if something goes, if I don't have a good night, that's on me. But on another end, if when the night goes well, I get to say I did this, this, and this to make sure to ensure that happened the way it happened. You know what I mean? Where I mean, honestly, some people make it to the league and never actually play, or in football or basketball, but they can go home with a championship ring. You barely even participated, but I mean, it takes a lot to get there. That's one thing I won't take from them. But as far as winning a championship, especially as far as winning a championship in boxing or MMA, you got to win. They can't win it for you.
Exactly, and that's it's a real like lonely sport. I hear a lot of boxers say that it's a real lonely sport. Like you really got to do everything yourself, really stay disciplined, which is really difficult to do, especially trying to make these weights. Some people don't. A lot of people don't understand. Y'all don't walk around at 147. You know what I mean? You don't walk. You got to really be disciplined and really go. Cut this weight down. It's really tough to do. So, I definitely commend y'all on that. And then could you also just tell us a little bit like, what is it like walking into a ring, especially on these big networks you get to compete on, like Showtime, Top Rank, whatever it may be? What is it like being in that ring and like the adrenaline rush, the crowd? What is that like?
Thing about it is, like, I mean, it's exciting. I've never really been I'm not a person that needs a bunch of attention, but like hearing the crowd and things like that, good or bad, if they booing you or they with you, I mean, to me, it's all part of it. It's all part of it. I did fight during the pandemic, and I mean, you did miss the crowd. You did miss the crowd aspect of it. Because I mean, it's for spectators. You know what I mean? And when I was missing the with the thing about it is when it was missing, it was kind of similar to just being in gym sparring. You could, if you watch it on TV, you could hear the impact of the punches more. I think that point it kind of educated people on, you know all that all that's impact. That, you talk about, oh man, that guy barely got touched. No, he just knows how to endure that. You know what I mean? Until he or she can't. But walking with the crowd, I mean, it's just a good feeling. Like, especially when you score a night. When I score knockdowns and the crowd goes crazy, you hear that. You know what I mean? For a moment, like if you fully locked in, you only listen. The only people you really hear is your corner. When a big moment like that happens, you the noise, it all crashes through like a wave, like, ooh, all that, man. It's a really good feeling. And you like to perform for the people that appreciate your fight style, your fan base or whatever. But then you also like to perform for the people that are doubting you, and you can look at them and say, I told you so.
Exactly, exactly. And then, so what made you want to get on the other side of the ring and start doing some boxing commentating?
I mean, it was just always something like I always watch boxing. Outside of I like even outside of like watching tape and everything. Like that's what I like to do on the weekends if there's fights coming up, and I don't, and I ain't gotta be I ain't gotta be nowhere. I want to be in front of a TV watching the fights. And me, my dad, my brother, my other teammates, we all like talk about what's going on in the fight, and like just in regular conversation. And then one day I met a guy who Mark Frado, who runs a media company. He started, he streams like the smaller cards, like club shows, club level shows. He'll
Hmm.
stream them on Facebook. Now he's with Flow Sports, and app and everything. And one day he just asked me like, let's give it let's give it a try. And what I realized is like after working with different like broadcast partners, whatever, they just said, look, man, just talk about it from the experience that you actually have. That's all. And then once they like broke that down to me, um, I just I like it. It's easy. It's easy to do. I get to watch boxing, which I already do, and now I get to talk about it. I mean, and now more people actually listen. But it's something I was doing for free.
Right. And then it's like, has it become like a passion for you? Is it something you could see yourself doing? Like when you put, hang the gloves up, can you see yourself commentating like full time outside of the ring?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I like to for one, I like to travel. Two, I still love boxing. Even when I'm done, when I'm done performing, I can see myself, doing commentary just because everybody has their opinions on boxing. You know what I mean? And I like to give my. I like to give my. I don't. Somebody will disagree. Some people agree. Some people disagree. But that's just what I'd be doing if I was retired boxing. I didn't come. That's just what I'd be doing at home. I'd be at home watching boxing with my family or with some friends, telling them what I see. You know what I mean? If they ask, they tell me I tell them what I see. Do the same thing and get paid. If I can do the same thing and get paid for it, then most definitely.
Exactly. And then it's cool to see, like, I see, obviously, it's a lot of former fighters that are commentators, but it's even more cool to see, like, more of y'all are starting to step into that role. Because it's like, for a commentator, we would like to from somebody who's actually done it. You know what I mean? Rather than these guys they just hire who went to school for it or whatever. So that's definitely dope as hell. And then I saw some clips of you actually training some guys. So I know you talked about it a little bit earlier as well. Is that something you could see yourself doing too?
Yeah, I probably could do that. I've trained as a. I mean, I've been a trainer. I've trained amateurs. I've worked corner. I've been second in corners before. I mean, yeah. I mean, it takes a lot to do it. It's a lot to do it. I mean, at the point I'm at, especially like with the kind of like the like boxing trainer, like the personal training people that just want to be. It started with people who just want to get in some shape and feel comfortable when they throw their hands and things like that. Basically, feel safe when they walk with their lady. You know what I mean? And then it turns into then a few other like people who do other disciplines like Muay Thai or kickbox stuff like that. They
Yeah.
asked me, I mean, I just want to get my hands better. And then I actually trained a couple of amateurs, like as their like head coach. Did we had decent results, you know what I mean? And then but even now I still like my dad. He still has amateurs that he trains. I help him with those. I help him with those kids and everything. Um, so it's all. I mean, it's all experience, and I can see myself getting into that. Like, um, I don't like even when I'm done boxing, I want to still be in shape. So if I'm being in the gym, exercise anyway, might as well, lend my experience to people.
Definitely, definitely. And then, so what motivates you to like keep going hard and keep being on the pursuit of being the best? Because obviously, in this delusional boxing game we have now, if you have a loss, people think you are just the worst fighter in the world. If you have losses on your record, this game is delusional right now. So, what keeps you motivated to stay in there? What keeps you on the pursuit to stay the best and be the best, and keep pursuit of your boxing dreams?
I think for me is like the fan base isn't the boxing fan base isn't the most uh, for lack of it, the most educated on the sport. They just want to see, they just want to see fights. I can understand that, but I mean, for me, I think it's more the respect I get from my peers, fellow fighters, coaches, things like that. People that are actually in the sport, it's that heavily who are heavily in the sport as I am. Like Jalil's dad, like Bernard Hackett, he always speaks on like, man, look, you still to me one of the best boxers in the area, one of the best boxers in the division. If you ever get a belt, man, you're gonna have it for a long time, man. And then I get, I'm respected by, the respect I get from other fighters, guys like, Julian Williams from Philadelphia, Tony Harrison and his brother LJ, they,
Yep, shout out Tony.
shout out to Tony Harrison, shout out to LJ, and and other guys like a couple guys coming up in the Philadelphia, the Pennsylvania area as a whole. My guys, Jonathan
Hmm.
Rodriguez, uh, Taj, all those guys. They're just that's what keeps me going. Really, not to be long winded, but just respect from people who do what I do. The same people, we've all fought before. We know what it takes. We understand each other a little differently. So being respected by fellow fighters, that's a thing that gives me a desire to keep fighting and be patient for the next opportunity. Because I put a lot of time into this, and you know fighters, fellow fighters understand what it takes to compete at a certain level. So for them to give me my kudos, that means a lot. That means a whole lot, especially people that came up before me, like Lamont Peterson, Anthony Peterson, Andrew Council. He challenged for world title. He challenged for multiple world titles in his day and age. Guys like that came before me. People that's here in my in my current generations, and people that are coming up. As fighters and coaches, that respect. I like having that, and I want to obtain more of it. Even 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 other promoters and things like that. Like when that fight happened with Maestro, they're like, "Yo, the sport did this kid really dirty." You know what I mean?
Man, and I'm telling you, I tell you, like everybody, anybody who was watching the fight, know you got did really fucked up that day. It was just to be honest, you got fucked up that day.
Yeah, yeah.
They was wrong as hell for that.
Nah, for certain. Nah, for certain. I mean, I remember somebody interviewed my brother. They said, "Yo, if y'all knew how much Michael Fox like loves this sport, y'all would not have done that to him." And just like y'all, as in, I guess the sport, as in boxing or the judges or whatever. But I
Hmm.
mean, which is the truth, man. Like I don't like I tell people all the time, if you want to find me, check your TV guide. If there's any boxing on, I'm in front of somebody's TV probably watching it. You know what I mean? Unless I'm just too tired from the day and I'll be in bed. If I'm not in bed, I'm watching boxing. Whatever card it is, I got my DAZN subscription. I have an ESPN Plus subscription.
Everything.
You know what I mean? Showtime. I always you know I have to like even when we get cable, I'm like, yo, we gotta have Showtime because I have to watch those fights. You know what I mean? Other
Yeah.
than that's really this is really the thing I probably love the most in the world.
No, definitely. I feel you on that, bro. Every fight that come on, I'm hurt. Like all these networks got their own separate damn apps, so you got to buy all of them. But
Yeah,
it definitely be worth it when like you said, when you invest it like this. Obviously I created a whole content page for it, so I love it as well. So, like when you invest it like this and you're trying to watch everything, I definitely understand where you coming from.
yeah.
But let's get to know you a little bit, man. What would you say the best pound for pound guy is right now?
Best pound for pound. As far as as far as skill sets go, as far as probably I think the best pound for pound guy probably. I mean, I think it could be. There's so many people. Like it could be Shakur. Shakur has a great skill set. Earl
Man,
Spence has a great skill set. Devin
yeah.
Haney, Bud Crawford. And all these guys have. accomplished a lot in the sport. So probably one of those guys.
One of those guys. No, any one of those could be correct. So
Yeah.
I definitely feel, yeah, I definitely feel you on that. So who are some fighters that you study or you get some game from?
Um. Well, I remember through a lot of the pandemic, a lot of 2021. I took it back to like I watched a lot of Larry Holmes. Had honestly the best, one the best, probably the best heavyweight jab, maybe one of the best jabs throughout the history of boxing. I think Larry Holmes was underappreciated just because he was the generation that came right after Ali's generation. Of course, they didn't appreciate how he did him, but I don't think anyone would have appreciated, like, if it wasn't like Larry Holmes or guys like that, it would have no one, the generation that came right after Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and all them, they weren't gonna appreciate that generation. Like, that's just what it is,
Right.
because they were high on him. But um, the in the modern time of boxing, I watch Earl Spence a lot, Terrence Crawford, um, Jerron Ennis. I like watching him. Shakur Stevenson, like I said, Devin Haney. Um, Anybody that's like, has a good hit and not get hit type of mindset. I enjoy
Yeah.
watching, because that's what the art of the sport is. I mean, ironically, you get more respect from, out of the fan base. You get more respect from the shots you take more than the shots you dodge. I mean, it's damn good to be able to take a punch. You have to be able to take a punch to go far in this sport. But I think it's more impressive to make somebody who's also on a high level miss their attack. That takes, I mean, tough. That type of toughness. I mean, that type of skill can be taught. That type of toughness to be able to take a punch, you just kind of gotta have it. But I mean,
Yeah.
but making people miss is where this sport really becomes, an art form.
Definitely. And I want to say, I like, speaking on like hit and not get hit, talking about fighters like Shakur and Devin Haney. I was actually arguing with somebody the other day, like, because they like those fighters are boring. Those, I'm like, bro, like these are the guys that like what boxing really is. Like when you watch Shakur Stevenson, I'll be in amazement sometimes, like how he doesn't get, how he doesn't get hit so often, like. But people like he doesn't knock his guys out. You know what I mean? So they kind of call him boring and all
Yeah,
this. So it's good to hear you say that. It's coming from another professional. It's good to hear you say it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, especially like with like a guy like Devin Haney. Like, you'll see like post fight, he'll ask you like, how is the power, this and that. Like, if I were to sit down with Devin, or Devin would ever ask me, I would tell him honestly, like, dude, don't worry about that, bro. You're undisputed. They say you can't hit, but nobody can beat you, and you captured all the belts. You ain't got to, like, in
Man,
my eyes, you don't have to prove nothing. Oh man, he can't punch, he pillow fisted, he's this, he's that, can't bust a grape, this and that. So he can't hit. Yet nobody can beat him, and nobody's walking through his punches. Nobody can beat him. But so instead of being upset with Devin, you need to be upset with the guys who tried to beat him, who could hit. Bernard can
right?
hit. He almost got Devin too. He almost
Hey,
got
I
Devin,
was
but
saying, yeah,
Devin willed his way through, and finished the fight, got the W. Kambosos was a unified world champion. He took him to school, like if you want to,
twice.
watch, I mean, if you want to see knockouts all day, go watch the little tough man competitions. They go till they drop. You know what I'm saying? But this sport requires a little more skill than that. You know what I mean? So, like, guys like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, those guys, young guys, they're gonna be around for a long time because of the shots they don't take, and they know, and when they fight to their strengths, for the most part. Like Devin has tried to, be the big puncher and tried to put people away. You didn't, bro. It's okay though, because they still couldn't beat you. They still couldn't beat you.
Exactly.
You had a power punching disadvantage, and they still, but nobody can get the job done against you. So we're good. So it doesn't matter.
Right, right. Only a few more questions, but I gotta ask you this one as well. So I was actually arguing with somebody about this as too. So they was kind of saying like the belts don't matter no more. It's kind of like, and this was after the Tank fight. This is when him and Devin Haney were going back and forth. Tank said he's a real champ. Devin like, I'm the champ on paper. You just the champ in your head. Blah 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 blah. But basically, I was arguing with a guy basically saying the belts don't matter as long as you're making this cash. And I'm saying like, bro, I can't agree with that because I feel like just to be at the pinnacle of where you're trying to go, I feel like you at least need a world championship. And Tank has won one before, but I'm just saying as far as 135 goes, Devin Haney has all of them. I feel like that matters. How do you feel about that?
The thing is, I think it all kind of runs hand in hand. To be honest, I mean, you win a world title, they pay you more money. Um, it helps boost your star power. But I mean, if you look, I mean, it has to do with things outside of has things to do outside of the ring actually. So if you look at, I mean, look at Ryan Garcia. He hasn't won any world titles, but he has millions of followers. He puts asses in seats. So I mean, honestly, and he gets paid a lot. When you have that kind, when you can draw that kind of attention, they're gonna give you, they're gonna pay you for it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it matters. It do. I mean, it does matter, but I mean, it matters. It matters. It matters. I think a little less, especially like with the way social media. Cause a lot of these guys are getting popular before they kind of prove themselves. Like but I'll say like Devin's proven himself. Tank has definitely proven himself. It's just he had Floyd Mayweather behind him, who was a guy that was able to go from Floyd Mayweather went from like being boxing famous to just being famous. A lot of fighters,
Right.
a lot of fighters don't really do that. Manny Pacquiao was just famous. Earl Spence is
Right.
he's getting to that point where if you know boxing, you know who Earl Spence is. Like uh, and then Tank Davis, like you can go anywhere. Like yeah, that Tank Davis kid. I don't know much about boxing. I know him. I know much about boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I know who Deontay Wilder is. Guys like that. Some of these guys, they cross over. I mean, they cross over to just being stars, not boxing stars, just stars. So I mean, it depends. It kind of depends on what you in it for. Because
Yeah.
you see guys like I mean, Ryan Garcia had multiple chances to win world titles. He was Devin Haney's mandatory back in like 2019. His promotion, his team decided to go a different route. I mean, he was all and Devin Haney. He was kind of getting money before he got his belts. And now it
Mm-hmm.
just depends on what you in it for, man.
No, I can understand that as well. I can hear you on that as just as saying depending on what you in it for. Because if you win it just because y'all are prize fighters at the end of the day, y'all are prize fighters. Y'all are y'all not taking these whoopings and beating on other people just for free. I definitely understand that, but I was just saying to the point like y'all do want to win at the same time. Is where I
Well,
was
yeah, no,
getting
no,
at.
no. Winning is still everything in this sport. You know what I mean? Um, you have to win to get anywhere in the fight game. If you can't you can't just keep putting up good fights and not and not getting a nod. That's not gonna get you anywhere in this sport. I mean, both of those guys, Devin Haney and Tank Davis, are impressive. They make valid points. Yeah, Tank
Right.
said Devin Haney can't even sell out. He can't even sell out in his hometown. Maybe not. We know what Tank can do.
Right.
We've seen he sold out Atlanta. He sold out L.A. Or if not sellouts, he's packed the house though. You know what I mean? So that like
Mm-hmm.
I can say he's a bona fide star, and he has world titles. He didn't just do this without world titles. So I mean,
Definitely.
it
Definitely.
draw having world titles good for your legacy. Being able to pack the house, that's good for your pockets. But they pretty much go hand in hand. If you think about it, the biggest legacy fights, they're gonna pay the most. You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's what people talk about. Some people say, oh, I'm in it for legacy. Some people say, I'm in it for money. I'm getting my check, blah blah blah. But they run hand in hand. So, you know what I'm saying? That legacy guy, that money guy, if that's the fight people want to see, it's both of them can be happy. This dude, fighter A gets a good one for the legacy, and fighter B gets a good one for the pocket. I mean, he gets both. Everybody gets what they want. I mean,
Right.
people act like they don't run parallel.
Exactly. And speaking on those legacy fights, do you feel like a shift is coming in boxing? Obviously, we got like Tank and Ryan was supposedly supposed to happen, but obviously Oscar De La Hoya don't know what's going on. So, like, do you feel like a shift in boxing is coming where we see the more of the top names going against each other?
It's hard to say, to be honest. I think one of the one of the biggest things that kind of kept fighters from well, I say this one thing that keeps a lot of fighters is they, their promoters and managers stuff. These guys have to have good working relationships with others and things like that, right? And then you got the promoters who sign exclusive deals with ESPN and the Zone and Showtime. All these guys are just creating more hurdles to get over because if Tank and Ryan get that fight made, who if they get it made on Showtime? The Zone's gonna be like, well, we want a piece of that. You know what I mean? Or if they get it made on the Zone,
Yeah.
Showtime gonna feel left out. Somebody's gonna be left unhappy. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I think once they started signing these exclusive like contract deals to for exclusive rights to air these promoters fights and whatnot, that's when things got really really more difficult. I mean, things were already kind of rough. Everybody was kind of picking their sides and everything, but it just gets more and more difficult. That's just one more person that needs to be that's just one more person that needs to be made happy. You got the manager, you got the fighter, the manager, the promoter, and now you got a network that wants their piece. And if everybody doesn't get their piece,
Right.
all it takes is one of them to not be on board for that fight not to happen. So I mean, we just have to see.
Which is
As far as to answer your
yeah.
question, I can't really say if we about to see a shift. If Tank and Ryan Garcia fight, it's a step in the right direction. So fingers crossed.
Right, yeah. So hopefully, what you said makes sense though. Like a lot of people don't think of it in that aspect either. As far as you got to make a lot of people happy before this fight can be made. You know what I mean? So that definitely makes sense. And then last official question I got for you, dog. You only 27 years old. You got a lot left to go in your career. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I mean, I hope to have chance for a world title again. Hope to have I want to challenge for world title again. I want to have made multiple defenses. For shoot 5 years, I might actually be at 154. You know what I mean? Like comfortably and everything. I haven't given much thought to what in 5 years. I'm trying to see. I'm only really thinking about the next fight, and that needs to be this year.
Right. Right. No, that makes sense for sure. So, bro, I just got some quick questions for you. I got, what many is this? 5 fights I got down here, and I just wanted you to shoot out who you think gonna win them. So, first of all, one we just talked about, Tank Ryan, if that happens.
Tank by knockout.
Take my
Yeah.
knockout. Okay, okay. Loma Haney, we saw that just got scheduled. Well, supposedly supposed to be scheduled for May.
Um, I'm going with I want to see Haney. I want to see Haney get that dub. He's younger. He's in a position he can reign for much longer. I don't. I think honestly, I think Lone was pretty much done. I mean, Lone was pretty much kind of done it all. It's time for a change in the guard.
Yeah. No, it's time for yeah. And Loma's still like not to take anything away from him. He's still one of the best at 35, but it's probably about that time for somebody else to take the reign. And that next one up, man, Caleb Plant, David Benavidez.
That's a tough one, but I think Benavidez will win his size and his size and his pressure and his combination punching. I think it can the combination that can overwhelm Caleb. Actually, you know, I'm actually a big fan of both, especially Caleb Plant. I've seen both of them in person. They good folks, man. So anybody that's actually a fan of either one of them, if you ask for a picture, they'll take a picture with you, no drama. Just be respectful, way you pull up on any athlete. But if I'm being new, if I'm true, I'm picking on them personally. Pick Benavidez.
No, I feel you on that, David. His like you said, that combination of just size, speed, his ability to throw effective combination is dangerous. So I definitely feel you on that. And then I believe this one is in the works as well. We got Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman.
I'm going with Earl Spence. I'm going with Earl Spence. It's interesting that they fighting at 154, but I mean, if they this is I think this is both their first times at 54.
Man,
What would you about to say something?
yeah, I saw that too, and I'm like, no, I was saying like, yeah, it was interesting they fighting at 54 as well. I'm not sure if Arrow's going to vacate those belts that he has, or he's going to stay at 54, or what's going on
I
there.
think this what I say about
We'll
that fight.
see.
I think at 154 for either two reasons. For one, it's mainly I think Earl could be testing the water to see how he feels at 154. Maybe he's kind of done waiting on the Carver fight. That's one, that's the logical one. The second one, the second idea in my head that's going on is I think that honestly, I think Earl's trying to be kind of petty just because when no look when Thurman was trying to when Earl was trying to fight Thurman when Thurman had all the belts, you know what I mean, he was like, man, go, you go win some time, you got to do something in the division, blah blah blah. Wins the IBF, he still kind of they still didn't make that fight happen. Now that Earl has all the belts, and keeps trying and keeps doing everything he can to get a fight winner. I think I honestly I think that Earl is trying to be petty and just and be like, yo, you're not going. If I got all the belts, you're not going to fight for him because you never gave me a chance. In a way I can appreciate that. I mean, I did something when you told me I had to do something in the sport. I did something in the sport. Now and I didn't get my chance, so I'm not giving you a chance to get it back. I mean, it can be like that sometimes. Like you go back in history, Mike McCallum, he said that he never got a chance to fight like Ray and Marvin Hagler and those guys in the Fab Four, and he always said that, like, Marvin pulled up on him like, yeah, man, I always respected you. Michael Collins was making me like, man, look, you ain't respect me. You never gave me a chance to feed my family. You know what I mean? If you respected me, you would have given me a chance to feed my family.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at it like that, it's like, this is how we make money. You need a dance partner across the ring. Otherwise, they would pay you to sell out arenas and shadow box. You need somebody across that ring.
No, definitely no. When you put it that way, that do make a lot of sense, and I kind of had that same kind of thought process as well. Like, why would I risk my belts? Going against you, I can just fight you at 54 for nothing, and I can still go back to 47 and defend him if I want to. You know what I
I,
mean?
like
So,
and me like my idea, my thought in my head is that he's being petty, and I mean when you the champ does the champ once. I mean, but I mean the thing is, Thurman agreed to the fight at 54, so it's not like he just did. It's not like he could have said no. I'm his WBC mandatory at welterweight. I want my belts back. I mean, he agreed to the fight regardless. I mean, so um, I pick Spence. I pick Spence to win. He's been he's been I mean, I think he's technically been more active. I think still, even with the that minor car accident he got into. Shout out to Earl Spence too. I'm glad he's safe. He's okay. He's not injured, and he's not out of the ring for. He won't be out of the ring for much longer.
right, definitely. And then the last one, man, I got Stephen Fulton Jr., Brandon Figueroa too.
I'm going with Scooter. You know what I'm saying? Scooter's another like good friend of mine, but I think in this fight, um, he'll box more that like more the way we kind of expected him to in the first fight. I mean, he went toe to toe. He went toe to toe with Brandon. He pulled out the win. Some people say he lost. I mean, when it goes down in the history books, he holds a W over Brandon. I think this one he'll box a little more. Even if there are times they're in close, they toe to toe, chest to chest. It's still gonna be the times where they break apart. And Scooter gets to move. He's gonna take more advantage of that and try to and try to land clean shots in those times. And then Brandon, I think Brandon, the thing you can expect Brandon to do. I'd be surprised if he didn't. All he's gonna probably try to do is press a little harder. It's gonna be similar to the Castaño Charlo fight, the second fight, where
Mm,
where um where Charlo he maintained a little more space and boxed in there, and then when they did get in close, he did some effective counterpunching to make sure he didn't look helpless on the inside. You know what I mean?
perfect, perfect. And then I got just one more for honorable mention. depending on who wins that fight, I'm going with Cool Boy Steph as well. Stephen Fulton Jr. versus Niall Inoue, who just moved up to the division.
I would always. The thing is, I would always pick Fulton, probably almost with against anybody that you pick down there. Like I said, I know Scooter personally. Actually, I have a story when we were all amateurs. Went up to Philly. They had this Philadelphia versus Puerto Rico card. I actually got slipped in because somebody fell out and everything. They say, "You want to fight?" I said, "Yeah." I came up here on the off chance that I do get a fight. I mean, we didn't know for sure if I would, but still came up. So we fought, right? And funny, we drove up. When we on the drive up there, my brother calls me. He said, "Man, Mike, I found one of your shoes in our parking spot." I said, "For real?" I said, "I got one of my shoes." I said, "I'm about to have to fight in my tennis shoes or something. I'm not, if we get a fight." At first, at that point, we're like, man, we don't even know if I got to fight yet. So, I mean, we may or may not even. I ain't even gonna worry about it. Once I got to fight, I'm like, damn, I can't even think of something. My coach and Scooter's coach, I think they would talk. He said, man, what size shoe we wear? At the time, we wore the same shoe size. We don't no more. But he loaned me these Adidas.
Right.
They was the D style. I still remember they were like black and gray. He loaned them Jones to me for the fight. Got him back to him. Scooter actually fought my other teammate at the time. Scooter got the dub. They fought a hell of a fight though. Scooter got knocked. Scooter got knocked out the ring on this outside, so he fell on the concrete. Boom. He immediately gets
Oh
up,
shit.
storms back up the steps, back in there to get right back to rumbling. You know what I mean? Damn good fight. Scooter gets the dub, and then him and his team, we all went and got cheesesteaks. Yeah, so that's always gonna be my man. I mean, he just off the strength he just loaned me some shoes so I could get my scrapping. You know what I mean? So uh, yeah, so him and we still got to see what Inoue does at the higher weight class. We got to see if his power carries, and I mean at that level too. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Scooter has already proven that he can compete at that level at that weight class. We know Inoue can be is the monster at that level, but at a lower weight class. So his first fight at that newer weight class is going to be somebody. It's going to be like a showcase kind of opponent. Now, nobody that's going to present a lot of not going to present too much difficulty. You know what I mean? But it's yeah, basically the chance for basically a chance for Newell is like boom, I can still hit up here. Um, but then when you got to see what he
Right.
does at that level, I think Scooter he holds a size advantage, and he's a very 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 sharp boxer. Inoue is a great boxer too. Throws a good counter right hand. Though just throws a good right hand. Period. Throws a good body shot. We just have to see if that power carries at a higher weight class.
Definitely. And I kind of thought that same thing as well. You just got to kind of see how them same tactic he was using at 118 kind of move to 122 because it just might
Yeah, let
not
me say. I
work. You
mean,
know what
that's
I
the thing.
mean?
He don't gotta go up there to that weight class and just become weak. Like he might can still throw a good punch, but
Right.
it's just. I mean, boom, that don't hurt. But I don't think it was what it used to be. And I mean, it'll be up to his
Yeah.
opponents at that weight class to make that determination. You know what I mean? So if that fight gets made, I'm anxious to see it. That's one they've been talking about. I think you got to give credit to Scooter. Even coming up before he started winning world titles, he fought a bunch of undefeated fighters. He was fighting undefeated fighters
Mhm.
like early on in their career. He was fighting fights that people would, man, well let's wait till they get a little further in their career. He's like, no, we can do this shit now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's why I have a lot of respect for Philly fighters, but Scooter Fulton in particular. I have a lot of respect for Stephen Cool Boy Steph. Everybody, if you know him from the amateurs, you know him as Scooter. If you wonder why I kept calling him that.
No, yeah, I seen a documentary of him. Showtime they did. I don't know if you seen it. They did the Boots and him documentary on there, and I seen everybody call him Scooter. I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, okay, that must be his like name. His homeboys,
Yeah,
what his homeboys call him.
we
You know
called
what
him
I
that
mean?
throughout the amateurs. Like even when I seen him I was at the tank had to go see a fight. He went walking by. Uh, him and Julian, but he went walking by. I was like, Scooter, what's good? He immediately turned. I mean, you could tell how people turn when they know, like, okay, so that's somebody that I probably known for a long time. Or somebody would say, "Cool boy, Steph." You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, what's good, man? But nah,
Right.
like literally, that's literally a childhood nickname. So when so I can't call him much anything else. I joked with him on Twitter. I was like, bro, I said, bro, you always gonna be Scooter. I don't know nobody named Cool Boy Steph. Just joking with him and everything.
No, definitely, Doug. And thank you again, bro. I wanted to really thank you, and I appreciate you for coming on, dog, and spending your time. You could have been doing anything else in the world, so I really appreciate you for sitting down with me, bro. And let the people know where they can find you at on
Yeah.
social media, anywhere
Well, first
else.
of all, let me say, I mean, I know this under the rug, but once again, I still do apologize for missing our session yesterday. Apologize to you, to
No
fans of
problem,
the
Brody.
boxing syndicate. Because the boxing syndicate delivers when they don't have fighters that can't keep their promise. You know what I mean? And you can find me on Instagram at Professor Mike, Mike with a Y, and Twitter with the same handle. When there's big fights on, I'm typically on Twitter, giving my thoughts on it. You can y'all can chat with me if y'all want, agree or disagree. As long as we all respectful to one another, that's cool with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But like I said, thank you again, y'all. And please follow me on Instagram at the Boxing Syndicate. Make sure y'all subscribe for more interviews and videos. Thank y'all.